I've just hit the go live button. Hey guys, it's Odaiba here. I think you guys can hear my voice now, although it will basically be a hot minute before I can actually check. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. That echo is the sign that I am successfully live now. So you guys can all hear me, I think. Welcome to the stream. Sorry that I'm a little bit late today. Just, it's been so long since I've done one of these. Actually, about a month, right? So I kind of forgot what I actually have to do and what I actually have to check before the start of the stream. So actually now I still have to go and turn off the audio feedback from my microphone so that I can focus on listening to the Japanese dabs during the stream itself. Now let's see if I hopefully I didn't forget how to do that. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to the stream, Robotaku, Violetta. I think it's SAO Million, right? Violetta. I'm just gonna call you Violetta. Sierra, Estil Hawk, Joshua. Thanks for dropping by. Stray Light, Kitty Law. Let's see who else is here. Iliana, I believe that's how to say your nickname. Irvin and Coin Monty, Daniel Sato, thanks for dropping by. So we are right now about 3 minutes away from the start of the JP stream, so that's why you can hear this beautiful music playing in the background. I've done an audio check beforehand already. I actually used like one of their past videos to double check and make sure that the audio levels are okay, but just in case, let me know if my current speaking level, like the current voice output, does it sound comfortable? Is it too loud or too soft? And the music in the background now is quite soft, but I believe later on when the stream actually starts, they'll actually turn it up. So let me change my microphone settings so that I can stop hearing myself. Oh, okay. Alright, I just turned off the mic feedback so I can no longer hear myself, and I kind of feel deaf right now. Oh. Okay, that is always scary. Now, I know in the past, sometimes we've had like some kind of technical problems, usually on the end of the, Square Enix site. Like halfway through their stream, like something goes wrong and then there's some disconnection, stuff like that. I think in the previous 2 live streams that they've done, they've had this kind of issue at the beginning of their stream. So hopefully today it can go off without a hitch. Johan Fontaine says, good afternoon from the Netherlands. Thanks for dropping by. Kitty Law says that the unit could be Rosalina too. Did I not type that into the stream? Or maybe I spelled her name wrong. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm just reading chat now and seeing that people are talking about summer unit. It's not gonna be a summer unit this time because what usually happens in WOTV JP is that the summer unit comes out in the middle of July and in the middle of August. So technically summer in Japan, it's technically summer now in Japan, as in the season summer in Japan, but for the school holidays and all of that, everything happens. The summer school holidays take place in August. So in Japan, most people have this kind of idea that August is like the month of summer, and that's why you see summer units for the middle of July and August. And it looks like we're going to be starting. And that was Miso Shiryu doing her trademark introduction. And that's who we're seeing now is Asalto-san, the MC for today. Miso Shiryu. a YouTuber who also does the FFB broadcast. This is Fujita-san, the director for War Divisions. And of course, Nakai-san sporting a new haircut. Nakai-san here is the operations producer for War Divisions JP. Okay, let me double check the... So right now they're talking about something about the EXP points in the game, but I didn't quite catch what the topic was. Like, Nick says, there we go, you might know me by my nickname. We used to be Mako before Solaris merged into us. Okay, so I think this was a conversation earlier in chat. How is the audio levels now? I'm actually feeling like the audio levels for the JP side is a bit too soft, but I can turn that up without actually affecting the audio balance, because my microphone has an audio level as well. But what about you guys? Can you, like, is the level of the JP voices the right level, or do you want me to turn it up? Audio from JP is a little bit low. Yes, alright. So let me adjust it a little bit. So today's character, Nakai-san just said, is someone that they've received a lot of requests about, and is someone that I think Asalto-san previously was also hoping for as well. 2 days ago, Asalto-san actually did like a fan art thing, like a live stream featuring Raw Division fan art. I haven't checked it out myself, but for the operations producer, Nakai-san is just saying now that for people interested can go back and watch his stream archive. I believe him and another War Divisions content creator basically introduced like a bunch of, I think like 14 pieces of fan art submitted by fans, and it features a bunch of stuff, including, you know, the characters in other worldly situations. In any case, they're gonna head into the I guess the menu for today. So first of all, they're gonna talk to us about the new unit information, followed by event and campaign information, and then the third item on the menu today is a roadmap for the future. So before they get into the thick of things, as per usual, they're gonna introduce to us this month's presents for the live stream this month. And basically everything here is the same as the previous time, because they made some adjustments based on the feedback from viewers in the past, and it seems like this is the kind of format that people tend to like. So basically they will have us vote on Twitter which of from the 4 sets here, we get to choose which one we want, and that will be accompanied by everything here on the left hand side. A, B, C, D. Oh, okay, so actually we don't have to vote anymore. I think they made this change last time, because I remember seeing the tickets as well. So what happens now is they're just gonna give us tickets, and then from the tickets we can claim, you know, they'll give us 4 different tickets, I believe, and we can basically pick which one we want, or something like that. So the difference, I guess, for global version is Hiroki. The Hiroki presence is the same for everybody, but for JP, what happens is, since in the past it's always they always prepared different options, and then what was recently changed was that they made it so that they give it to us in the form of tickets, and then we can choose which one we want. In any case, that's it for the present segment, so they're gonna go straight into the new unit. Oh. And they got excited because Fujita-san, the director of the game, just said, "Oh, I'll be the one to introduce the trailer today." So we get to see a little bit of a different introduction than before. So usually Misoshiru is the son. Misoshiru is the one who does the introduction. But this time it's Fujita-san. And there we go, as expected, I guess, by a lot of people. So many people have been asking for her to be implemented for the longest time, and she's finally here, and she's an Earth unit! Holy cow! Earth Gunner. Wow. Damn it, I want to pull for the unit already. It's Melia, you guys. So the voice actress of Melia is the same as the Jolene Josuke from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Gonna just adjust the... So they're talking about her limit burst right now, like the way the perspective has been implemented. And because she's always traveling around in different kingdoms, so that's why for the background in this artwork here, they've sort of placed landmarks from different kingdoms. And of course, there's I think there's Crystal Sanctum somewhere around here. But from the beginning, when she appeared, she was affiliated with Fennes, right? And then after that, it was revealed that actually she's, you know, she's kind of like a freelancer kind of situation. Like a mercenary, right? So, Melia in Part 3 story has appeared quite a bit. But in the future, there's going to be more of her. And like Aisan says that, you know, players can expect to see more of that and be curious about, you know, what's going to happen for Melia in the future. So, going into the introduction for the unit. Melia and... Magai. How do you even translate that? So, unique job, as per usual, cost 100 Earth unit. When you're talking about Melia, when they recorded the voice for her, it was actually without the illustration at all. So when she uses her techniques and stuff like that, she has this image of like being like a silent kind of character, like the way that because she's kind of has this mysterious aura. So Nakai-san says that when you know, she appears in the game as a unit, be sure to check out her mannerisms when she's using moves. That's going to be something that's interesting. Sub-jobs are Hunter and Trick Lancer. And Limit Burst, single target attack. Whoa. Let me turn that off. Focus assist. So, I'm not sure what the move is for Hunter, but for Trick Lancer, it's bind slow. Limit Burst is a single target attack that destroys physical barrier before doing damage L. And there's a chance to inflict poison. And there's an additional effect when poison is afflicted onto the target, that character, the target, will have Man-Eater greatly decrease. Man-Eater effect greatly decrease. So I just counted, the range is range 5 limit burst. Single target, destroys barrier, and so basically she's like an attacker type with an attacker type, what do you call it? Like those single target, big damage kind of limit burst. But of course the big thing with this limit burst is that it inflicts poison. And then on top of that, when the target gets hit with poison, Man-Eater goes down. So the damage of that target is going to be lowered. And it's an effect that's it's quite easy to land because I guess most people don't really put poison resistance. And there are not really that many sources of poison resistance in the game. Now I'll go back to talk about the sub-job skills after the stream. So she's a midfielder. She's a midline physical attacker type. Wow, she can afflict sleep status and remove, re-raise, as well as being able to quickly defeat enemies. So the move on the lower left is a two-target move. It's a single target attack that hits up to 2 targets. And to each target, it does 2 hits of damage, M. And it has a chance to do 3-turn sleep. And then the one on the upper right is an AoE attack. Oh, he's already talking about the move over here. So I'm going to go step by step. The one on the upper right is AoE, right? And then damage M to the targets within the range. But the fewer enemies there are in the range, the more damage it's going to deal. So this is similar to the convergence move from Light Stern. So 3 units, they'll get the same damage, and then if there's less than 3 units, the damage will go up. And then for the buff move, the AoE buff move here is 3-turn protest, 3-turn protect and all allies within this AoE. And then for 3-turn, it also has defense penetration up for Melia, and re-raise removal on hit for 3 turns to Melia only. So this is so Fujita-san is explaining the skills again. So this move is a single target attack that has a chance to sleep, to cause sleep. So right now, he's saying that Alaya, who came out last month, is incredibly strong, is a character that can hit 3 enemies at the same time. So they felt that was maybe a little bit too strong. So for Melia, she has something similar to that, but it hits 2 targets, not 3 targets. But the upside is that you can cause the enemies to sleep. So just to explain, the move here says that it hits 2 characters, even in the skill name. Fujita-san just clarified, even if you upgrade this move, it won't hit 3 targets. And right now he's explaining the AoE buff move. Usually for characters, their AoE buff moves is plus sign, is a cross shape area of effect. But this time, what's special about Melia's buff move is that the range is huge. And on top of that, it gives defense penetration, right? And also the ability to remove re-raise for Melia alone. So just to be absolutely clear, the re-raise removal is only for Melia. It does not go on her allies. And there's something extra he needs to explain on this move. But basically, this move can be upgraded by EX abilities. The EX move for EX version of this move gets more damage, gets improved by having up to 4 people. So this is a plus sign AoE attack, right? I believe he just said that the damage goes up for the EX version of this move, and also there's healing ability down, but I'll need to double check after the stream. And on top of that, there is a dispel. There's a dispel effect on one of the moves. I'm not sure which move he said this was, but one of the attacks, or possibly the buff, will give Melia the ability to dispel all buffs on the target. I believe it's this move, yeah. So the EX upgrade for this AoE buff is that Protect will go from 3 turn to 4 turn. And it will also give Melia auto AP recovery for 3 turns. AP recovery small effect for 3 turns. So for a lot of sniper units, there's always this complaint about them running out of AP. So they feel that for Melia, because she's not only a sniper, but she's kind of like a midfielder, she can go in on the targets as well. So with that in mind, they decide to give her AP recovery and also support ability. AP, one of her passives will have what do you call it? AP reduction, AP cost reduction. So the questions that he always gets are that whether or not Melia has guaranteed hit, and unfortunately this time she doesn't have guaranteed hits. And she also does not have re-raise or courage. So even though she's a midfield, a midline attacker, for the most part she will be moving around in the back line. So with that kind of position, that kind of performance, they felt that they didn't need to give her that much protection in terms of courage or re-raise. So instead, what she gets is things like jamming abilities, things like removing, re-raise, and stuff like that. And other than what's mentioned here, so of course she has status ailments, sleep and poison that's been introduced so far. She also has a Berserk Inflicting move, but that is meant for manual play. So meaning it's probably going to be something that doesn't do a lot of damage, or maybe doesn't do damage at all. So in manual play, you can run Berserk skills for Melia. For support skills, she has a move -1. You can equip just like with Alaya, you can equip a support skill to reduce her movement by -1. And of course, she's an attacker, so definitely there's going to be defense penetration. And of course, missile resistance penetration. So she's going to be quite effective as an attacker, even if the enemy stacks up missile resistance. So basically, she seems like, the kind of unit that is like very fiercely meant to be like a attacker that is able to do damage and do like status ailments and stuff. And then another question that Fujita-san gets often is things like curve. So for missile skills, there's lobbing skills and there's straight line skills, right? So the straight line skills is this here, lower left, is a straight line. This is a arcing missile move. And then another move that he's describing is a single target move that gives healing ability down. That is also a curve shot move. So she has a mixture of straight shot and curve shot attacks. So for those of you guys who are newer to the game who don't know what this straight shot, curve shot thing is, for missile units, their range attacks, right, can either go through targets by curving over them, or they have to be blocked by a target, which are the straight line skills. So that's basically what it's talking about here right now. And also for the curve shot moves, the range of the move can actually increase if you are on a higher position than the target. So Salto-san here is talking about the benefits of the curve shot moves. Very good for PvE as well as PvP, of course, because you have better control over the targets, and also it's easier to build teams around curve shots. So right now, Miso Shiru-san is commenting on an aspect of the Melia character, which is that she has like servants, apparently. And it has to do with the animations of how she appears in the game. And the person who commented also said that he kind of feels like a servant of Melia when, now that he can use her in combat. So generally speaking, sniper units are, pretty squishy. So that's why it makes sense to pair her up with like a tankier unit like Muraga, or I think he said one other unit. I couldn't recatch that. So of course in the game now you already have Earth snipers, but they're from like more than half a year, more than a year ago. So the performance levels is going to be different from Melia. But you can definitely do something like having Dialdo out there with 2 snipers, firing from the back line. And if we're talking about Earth Team, one, very easy example that comes to mind is, of course, King Bradley, who is perfect as a partner with Melia here. And also Luel is also a pretty good partner for her. Since Luel is technically a backline magic attacker, right? So there's a lot of ways you can build teams around Melia, or rather build teams with Melia. And then for manual play, there are even aspects that Fujita-san himself is not 100% clear on because he hasn't play tested that much, I suppose. But there are probably going to be some things that you can do in manual play as well. So Sato-san is just giving an example. Like for example, you could do the Chun gaming style of play, which is basically have King Bradley come in and do his calculated run Chun, 2 slashes to take out the enemies, and then Melia will come in from behind and support with curve shots to kill the rest of the enemies. That kind of thing. So overall, she seems to be a fantastic addition to the Earth element. Now, I know that earlier when explaining the skills, I think there were some things that I need to clarify better. So after the stream is done, basically, I will go back and check them, and we'll talk about it at the end of this stream as well. So for those of you guys who want to, hear more details about, I believe the hunter subjob skill from Melia, I'll go and look into that at the end of the stream. And then, of course, as per usual, we have the what do you call this? This set of quests. I don't really remember what it's called in global, but basically it's for building up the character. They've changed it so that it's really useful now. You just have to do it once and you get a bunch of materials. And then, of course, there's going to be a new weapon. It's called Dual Moon. And as you can see, the shape of the gun is kind of like a moon shape. A crescent moon shape. So Vijay-san is going to go into it. So missile attack up. Missile attack up is for everyone. There's initial AP up, and then there's one he just mentioned that I kind of missed out on that. I kind of didn't hear it clearly because I was talking over it. In July, there's also going to be a raid as well. And during the raid only, so during the July raid, apparently there will be some enhancement for Melia when she uses this weapon to fight in that raid. There's something new that they're doing. The details will come later, not now. But basically, it's been a while since the last raid. So, Kugatsu. Wow, it's been a really long time. So the last raid in JP apparently was like all the way back in September. We're talking about the normal raid. Of course, not like a collab raid. So it's been a really long time since they've done one of these. But they're going to be trying something new with it in terms of enhancement. But other than that, the weapon itself is interesting because the generic effect is for everybody, but the special effects, the initial AP up and one other effect, that is going to be applied to certain job classes, certain characters with main jobs that fit the criteria. So it's not only for Melia. Wow, and this is something new as well. You're gonna have these exclusive title. So this is I'm not sure if I feel happy about this, but basically it says here that for the Melia building quest, if you are able to complete that quest with Melia in your party, you get this title here. But it's time limited, so you need to have Melia during this period of time to participate in the quest to get this title. And then for campaigns 2 and 3, for the second and third, when you get these titles, you also get these bonus rewards. A bunch of energy potions, L, as well as a bunch of skip tickets. So 30 L potions and 150 tickets for this tier, and then 100 potions and 500 skip tickets for the bigger tier. Okay, so the titles, these titles are the ones that you get for when you use a unit a certain number of times. I think like one of them is like 100 or 500 or something like that, and then another one is like 5,000. If you can get if you can get these titles, oh, there we go. So you need to use Melia 3,000 times, and this one is you use Melia 10,000 times. When you get these titles within the time period, you will get these additional rewards. And of course, if you just use Melia in the special quest, the character building quest, you will straight away get this special title as well. So I guess they realized a lot of people don't really like to pull for non-limited units, and they're going to try and create some kind of pressure to get people to pull for the unit. And then, of course, the week after that, next week, 1 week after Melia is out, she will have a Melia-themed vision card. I believe the title translates something like Bloodstained Road. The path stained with blood. This is a cost 60 vision card, which means that it's going to be a weapon-based vision card. Look at the expression. Nakai-san is saying, look at the expression, is really great, right? And Misoshi-san is pointing out that people are already commenting about that in the comments in the JP chat. And of course, below her face as well is pretty nice to look at. It's a weapon VC, but unfortunately Fujita-san cannot elaborate on the effects yet because they're still in the process of tuning it, which typically means they don't know what to give it yet, I think. Well, okay, maybe that's a bit extreme, but, they basically haven't decided exactly what they want to put on the vision card. Robotaku says, I bet that's gonna be a thing for new units now. Well, I hope not. I think it's alright if they use it to push certain limits that, they want to encourage people to get. But if they do it every single time, I feel like maybe it's not really, I don't know, it doesn't really feel that great. So I think for Melia it's okay because a lot of people are looking forward to Melia, like myself as well. I'm definitely pulling for her, by the way, because I have a lot of Earth units, and one of the main elements I'm rocking in JP is Earth, so I'm probably going to pull for her. If she's weak as hell, then I'm gonna skip her, but I don't think she's going to be weak. Just based on how the developers have described Melia, and just based on the campaigns they're rolling out, I don't think she's going to be a bad unit. So they're now talking about some design thing with Melia, something about the snake that is being teamed. It's some useless thing that I don't think we need to be concerned about. Like I said, saying, let's just stop talking about that. I guess if you are interested in the kind of snakes like used for the theme of Melia, maybe you might be interested, but I think most people would not be interested in that. So next up, we're going to talk about the game events and the Tanabata campaign. Tanabata is a period in JP on the 7th of July. First of all, Chapter 4 is going to start taking place, it's going to be released tomorrow, or rather on July 1st, which is 2 days from now, but it's a midnight release, so it's technically tomorrow. And I guess this means we're gonna see Alaya in the main story. Does anybody know if we've already seen Alaya in the main story? I played the 3.5 anniversary event, and that event actually explains what happened to Alaya and Griffith and the rest of them after what happened in story part 2. So I'm familiar with what happens for that part, but apparently in part 3, I've only played like the first 2 chapters, so I haven't really seen Alaya appear in the main story. Does anybody know if she's appeared already? Estill Hawk asks, is she going to be magic? Is Melia going to be a magic character? No, I think she's going to be a physical attacker based on what we've seen. Her limit burst as well breaks physical barriers, so that's a huge hint that she's definitely a physical character because it only breaks physical barriers, and that is only useful to the character, obviously, if it's a physical attacker, right? So finally, so Naka-san just said it. Finally, Alaya is coming to the main story, and of course during the 3.5 anniversary event story, there was a bit at the end of the event story where we saw Alaya appear, I think for the first time in part 3. So definitely a lot of, expectations and excitement for this thing. Naka-san hopes that people will look forward to it. What is this? So they're gonna hold a popularity poll thing for reincarnations. They're gonna do a poll to the players to get them to poll for the characters that they want to reincarnate the most for each element. So between July 1st to July 7th. And Naka-san explains all of these details are to be adjusted, to be determined. It's not 100% confirmed, but right now the settings for this campaign is from July 1st to July 7th. So right now in the game there are 8 elements, right? So obviously, even though there's 8 elements in the game, obviously not everybody is going to use every element. There are elements that people don't really use, right? So what's going to happen here is they will get players to to vote for their favorite characters for each element, and then whoever is the number one popularity character in each element will receive some kind of support for reincarnation. It's going to be something you can summon. So basically, the full details of this campaign can't be explained in full yet, but basically the idea is that whoever ends up being the most popular character in each element is going to get some kind of support for this, for reincarnations in the format of some kind of banner that you can summon, the characters with to, I guess, get that character or get more mind spirits for that character. So, like what he's saying now, is a way to give people more shards, not mind spirits, to give people shards for the characters who are in the first place. So, let's say you're somebody who is not even doing reincarnations yet, right? And you may not even have the unit. If the unit ends up being the first in the element, there's going to be a way to get shards for that character. So they'll give us the details on how to do the voting later on, but basically from tomorrow midnight, basically July 1st midnight to July 7th afternoon JP time, they're going to hold this poll to have everybody vote for their favorite character in each element. So you can of course vote for the characters you want to continue building, or you can vote for characters that you have already completed and you want to reincarnate more. So this is pretty huge if, especially with JP, because a lot more JP players have done a lot more reincarnations than global version players, right? So this is going to be really helpful for JP players to build up, to have the means to reincarnate more. And then next up, of course, like like they explained earlier, there's going to be a raid from July 7th, July 14th. It's the first regular raid in a really long while. The only times there's been raids has been, I think, collab and stuff, right? So there's going to be a new raid versus Europa, and the raid boss is this the raid boss? So this is Sahagin Prince. I don't know what kind of creature is it. Is it a Final Fantasy thing or an FFV creation? In any case, you can, through this raid, you can get the MR Vision card, Sahagin Prince. And you get this equipment, which is Sniper's Monocle. It's basically some kind of scope you can attach to your sniping rifle, I guess. But it's a monocle, so I don't know how that would actually work. But anyway, it's something you can equip on snipers. I'm looking forward to finding out what this equipment does. Probably going to be some power item from Melia. So of course, since there will be an MR Vision card, Sahagin Prince, of course that means there's going to be a what do you call this quest here to acquire the shards for this free MR card. And of course, this as per usual, the quest will be available for people to farm for a little bit over 2 weeks. July 7 to July 24. You know what this means, right? So Saldo-san is asking about the element for this card. And of course it's water. Obviously, that you can tell without even asking. Obviously it's gonna be water element. I'm not sure if this comes with an Asper. And then we have +6 equipment. I forgot what it is called. And then there's the marshmallow cap. A lot of people use the marshmallow cap, I think, but I'm not sure about this one. In any case, it's going to get +6, so hopefully the improvement will be helpful to the equipment. But marshmallow cap is like one of the most versatile equipments in the game, so it's definitely worth upgrading this to +6. Keep a few around, and I'm curious to see what they will give it. Very good for PvE stuff. Like Ai-san is saying as well that this is like a very old gear in the game, so nice to see that it's getting used. And then of course, 7th of July, there's going to be Tanabata campaign, Tanabata event. This is going to be, it's kind of lame if you ask me, but I mean they built this up to be some kind of special Tanabata campaign, but it's just going to be JP and EXP and item drop 2x campaign, as well as JP and EXP 2x campaign for story quests and for selection quests. So that's part 1 of the campaign for the first week of July. Hariki Lewis says they hate water, so only MR Asper. They didn't actually show us the Asper 3D model, so I'm not actually sure if there will be an Asper with that vision card. Of course, for the second week of the campaign, or rather for part 2 of this campaign, there's gonna be 2x Trust Stones and daily quests. And what's this? 2x Friend Medals, 2x Guild Medals. Doesn't seem to be that special if you ask me. The dates here are a little bit different because they are starting the campaign for the medals only at reset. So that's obviously that's only just a part of the campaign. When it comes to Tanabata, Tanabata is all about, making wishes, right? So obviously that means there's going to be some kind of summons associated with the campaign. But unfortunately, they won't be giving us details of the Tanabata summon campaign this time. They're not gonna give it to us today, the details, but they'll let us know the details soon-ish. But there's basically some kind of summon campaign for July 7th as well, because it's Tanabata. So something to look forward to for JP players. Definitely, I think Tanabata stuff is not something global players will get, because I don't even know how they will bring that over to global version. Robotaku asks, is Sahagin also an Esper? That I'll have to go back and listen to it again, but I don't think they actually mentioned an Esper. But maybe I missed it as I'm talking over them, so I'll go back and listen to it again. So far for the MR3 Vision cards, have they always given us Espers with it? I think there is, right? There are quite a few, right? The really confusing thing is, if there's an Esper, I'm not sure why they didn't just put the image of the Esper onto the slides, which is what they usually do, so it's a little bit confusing. Hey FTK, thanks for dropping by. So next up, in late July, there's going to be the next part of the Legendary Relinquery mode. And the next part for JP is going to be Dagger and Mace. So there's a weapon from FF Tactics. The Mace of Zeus is the mace, and the dagger is Assassin Dagger. So Assassin Dagger is apparently known in the FF series as a dagger that can defeat enemies in one hit. And obviously, for the sake of balance, the World Vision is not gonna kill enemies in one hit, so don't worry about that. But as you guys know, Legendary Relinqueries is a mode where you get Final Fantasy series weapons, right? So you can expect something, or rather, this time around is these two weapons, Mace of Zeus and I forgot what is the dagger called, Assassin Dagger. So looks like they're not gonna give us the details for the weapons now, but we'll find out later this month. Violetta says Fire Magic Esper would be nice too. We have none but 6 Fire Mages. Yeah, that's a good point. So earlier Miso Shiryu-san was saying that, as a fairly new player herself, she thought that the Legendary Relinquery quest will be kind of out of her reach, but when she actually tries to form a team and play it, she was able to clear it, and I think she was quite high up in the rankings. Do we have rankings in Legendary Relinqueries? I don't think so, right? So anyway, she says that she was able to get the weapons, and then after, even when, so she used the weapons without buffing them in, some quests that has rankings, and she ended up being rank number 4 on the leaderboards, just using the weapons that are not powered up. And then after she powers them up, obviously, it led to even better performance. And then Asaldo-san is saying that in JP right now, basically there is a equipment upgrade campaign right now, meaning you get more stats when it's easier to get the maximum stats when you are leveling up. So right now is the time for JP players to go and upgrade their weapons and to go and play legendary reliquaries, get the weapons and upgrade them. Of course, for global version, we had that campaign, the equipment upgrade campaign, 1 or 2 weeks ago, so we kind of missed that already. But hopefully it'll come back again soon in the near future. Hopefully it'll come back. Hopefully they won't make us wait too long for the next equipment enhancement campaign. So basically, there's just a lot of talking to sell the legendary reliquaries mode, especially to the newer players. So very quickly, we've gone through the events campaigns, and now it's on to the third item for today's live stream, which is the roadmap. They've written down a bunch of stuff. Wow. There's some changes as well. So they'll talk through the roadmap while highlighting the changes. So first of all, July. So July, we'll get barracks, one button to fully replenish it. One button to unlock all your trust stone pedestals on the TMR. And then on the unit status menu, they'll add the single target resistance and area resistance stats onto the menu itself so you can check it. Sword. Equipment, what's this? Equipment sort. They're gonna add it so that we can sort equipment by defense, spirit, and AP as well. And then other than that, wow, this is huge. There's gonna be a upgrade panel for limit burst. So last year, for about 3 months, we had various job upgrades, right? This year, they're going to upgrade the limit burst of characters. So that's what this new feature is. So it's not for new characters, it's only for the old and existing characters. They will be able to upgrade their limit burst. And for the kind of image for this, you can think of it as similar to the previous upgrades for old units. It's basically they will roll them out in waves as per usual. And then for the collapse and stuff, so obviously for when collapse come around, that's when they'll adjust the schedule and all that. But the rollout is gonna be similar to EX abilities. EX board and master ability too. It's gonna be similar to that. And of course, for collab characters, in the future, they do plan on adding the limit burst upgrade for those collab characters as well. So how do you unlock this? Fujiya-san is saying right now. So basically, it's gonna be on the ability board, but you will need a specific item to unlock that part of the board, and you will need to play a quest to get that item. So once you do that, once you clear that quest, you get the item, and you'll be able to unlock that part of the ability board to upgrade the limit burst. As to what form the quest will take, June. So the first wave is gonna be rolled out in the late July timing. But of course, now that we know the timing, the next thing we want to know is which characters will get the upgrades, right? So for now, the ones that they've confirmed that will get the limit burst upgrade in the first wave are these 4 characters, which I don't give a crap about. MR Mont, Mediana, Stern, Kacheng will be very happy for this, I guess. And then Mr. Leonis' father, old Leonis. For the first wave, it will be these 4 characters. And then as for the timing of releases and how many characters, to come out with this each time, they're going to be adjusting. They're going to be looking into that, so please look forward to more details on that. Fujisan wants to say, so basically right now the rollout is not 100, the details for the rollout is not 100% confirmed, meaning the timing and the number of characters each time is not confirmed yet. Question from the JP chat, what about characters that don't have limit burst? So Fujisan says that for the characters who don't have limit burst, they are out of the campaign. They are not being considered for this campaign, so they won't be giving them a limit burst. I mean. So there are a few reasons for that actually. So the way Nakai-san explained is that, for TMRs, right, there's actually a certain ratio of TMRs that are weapons and those that are not weapons, and that's actually balanced between the UR and the MR units, right? So that's how they've done it. And then for limit burst, it's kind of, for the same kind of reasoning, because of the balance, and there's like a predetermined ratio, so that's why they're not going to be adding limit burst to those characters that don't have the limit burst. Right now they're talking about Luasa. So I think, so this is before I even started the game. So apparently Luasa, initially when Luasa came out, she didn't have a limit burst, and then it was added later on. Is that the situation? Because I don't really know about that, but it seems like they're saying that for Luasa it's kind of like a special case that, in the past apparently she didn't have a limit burst, and then it was added later on. So it's kind of, there were certain extenuating circumstances for that. So, that aside, they're not going to give new limit bursts to to characters that don't have it. Now, next up, in August, there's going to be UI improvements. So basically, there will be new icons to make it easier to see the units and vision cards, but it's kind of hard to understand what they mean by that. And then in September, there's UI improvements as well for each formation. The units and vision card and Esper being used, and the equipment as well, will be always displayed in front. I don't really understand what they particularly mean by that. I guess we will have to see what they, what they mean when they actually show it. Esper board, they'll make it easier to see the total value for each upgrade on the Esper board. And then other than that, they're going to add more party slots for a bunch of modes like Arena, Multi, and the Tower mode. So those are the upgrades and stuff that's determined for July to September. On top of that, there is a separate list for new content that's coming out. So in the late August, there will be a limited arena, but they've mentioned before this new limited arena will be in the form where they limit the number of orbs or something like that. And then late September, there will be a multi-defense quest. I'm not too sure what this is. And then late October, there will be a quest where the map effects will be changing here and there. So obviously we don't know what these things are unless they explain in detail. But let's see if they give us any more details. But basically, there's going to be a bunch of new stuff coming out in JP for August, September, and October. So Fujisan is going to explain them now. So this was basically mentioned during the anniversary that they're planning new stuff, new contents as well. So the first thing is the limited arena. This is something that they've talked about before. A lot of people have participated in the limited arena, but in order to make it, easier for more people to participate in limited arena, the next time they do a limited arena, they're going to make it easier to participate by, for example, well, in the first place, what is the reason for people, who find it difficult to participate in arena? So one thing is, of course, whether or not you build the units or not. But the main thing that a lot of people find it really hard to get into arena is the visual refresh. So they're going to remove that for the limited arena. So right now is so basically they haven't really decided exactly on details yet, but one thing they're tackling for sure is the fact that visual refreshes is a pain point for people, right? So they're gonna look into how to, make that better. And of course, they might introduce something else for the limited arena as well. So the details are to be determined. But the one thing they're tackling is the not getting people to do visual refreshes basically. And then the September thing, the multi-defense. So previously, I think we had some kind of defend the castle kind of quest. So this time, for the new content for late September, it's going to be something like a multi version of that. It's going to be in the form of, something like the versus the Ram Scourge, that kind of content. Because during the 3.5 anniversary, we had that quest, the multi-quest, where we got to fight the Ram Scourge, and that was very well received. So basically, this multi-defense quest is going to be something in that kind of vein. And something along those lines, but also, in terms of the image, it's kind of like the defend castle quest that we had as a solo quest before as well. And then for October, so for October, they're going to be introducing some kind of quest. Some kind of solo quest where the map effects will change depending on the timing that you're playing the quest. So depending on time, the effect will be different, which kind of forces players to use different movements for the map. But of course, appearance-wise, the quest doesn't look that different. But on the upper right, on the upper right, that will show how many turns left before the map reflection. So I guess earlier when he said depending on the time, he doesn't mean depending on the real world time, but rather depending on the number of turns left in the quest itself. So just to clarify that. So for selection quests, you're not going to touch that, I think. But there's going to be, I'm not sure how they're going to implement it, but it's going to be a new kind of quest where the map effects will change after a certain number of turns have elapsed. And then for the limited arena, they show some pictures here, but I can't really tell if anything's been changed. I don't think it's something you can tell by the screenshots. Alright, and that's all the information this time around. So for the points that, there were quite a few points this time around where, I wasn't 100% sure what they said. So I'm going to look back at those parts to clarify it after the JP stream is over. So for those of you guys who want to know more details about, the things that they've said, do you stay back after the end of the JP stream? And so back to the thing about the snake. So it's apparently something to do with the legs over here. Oh, it's not. So you can tell from the vision card, the left and right legs are like a little bit different. So it's like she's wearing different stockings on different legs kind of thing. So so they're not going to show us that slide again because they don't want to get into the discussion again. But But apparently it appeared in the game when during the part 2 story cutscene where she is communicating with somebody from afar. That's the hint that Nakai-san is, or rather that's the image that they use to make the vision card basically. So if you wanna see what this vision card is being inspired by, there is a cutscene in part 2 where she's communicating, and that's kind of the visual. That's kind of the image that they kind of played around with for this vision card. Fujiya-san is saying something about the expansion of party number of parties in each mode. So one thing Fujiya-san wants to get players to note, which is that they're going to expand the number of party slots in the various modes like arena and multi and all that. But just note that if you use like a lot of party slots, it actually affects the loading time at the beginning when you log in. Because at the beginning when you're logging into the game, during that loading screen, there's actually some, data transmission between the server and your device to pass over the parties settings that you have. So just note that if you use a lot of the party slots, then it will be slightly longer, but it's not going to be more than like a second more. But it's definitely going to be slightly longer than usual. Templates is fine. Templates is not affected by this because templates are actually saved locally on your device. It's not saved in the server itself. So there's no transmission, no data transmission for the templates. But for the party slots, they're all saved server side. So every single time you log in, right, you do have to, like, there has to be some kind of data thing that happens, and it's just going to take a little bit longer than usual. So if you're playing from a really bad environment, maybe it could affect you, but for most people, it's not going to be more than an extra second. And of course, they are looking into this situation to how to alleviate it better as well. And Nakai-san is saying now, so this little loading thing, of course, it only takes like 1 second or 2 seconds, but if you look at it over time, over like, every single day, like the 1 extra second actually adds up. So just do note that if you use up all the party slots, something like this can happen. But for most people, I'm certainly not concerned by that. I would rather have the party slots than not use the party slots. So presents. On top of the stuff that we are receiving, we're going to get visual as per usual. But basically, pretty much just wrapping up now. So I'm going to take a moment to read the chat. Hopefully let's see here. Oh, I see a retracted message. Raul Wu says, I wonder if they have a super special water unit in the draft, like how for 3rd anniversary Wingstern was the premier light unit. Yeah, I really do wonder about that. I was hoping Faris is that unit for water, but unfortunately she just turns out to be a little too disappointing. So I have Faris mostly because I wanted the TMR, but I have zero interest in building Faris at all. She's just not that great. Okay, and Cherif and KWL explained that for Luatha, she did. Sorry, I just got caught off guard by something I just said about TGS. Like, this is something in the past, so it's not really. But basically, in the past, they gave out something, and they were just explaining about that it was something special for TGS. Anyway, Violetta asks, no plans to add more Truststone template slots. I have like 20 ping sets. It's annoying. Okay, so the thing about Truststone template slots, you really have to go and ask Hiroki about it, because in JP we have 99 template slots for Truststone sets. If you want, I can even show it to you after the stream, but for JP, since the very beginning, the Truststone template slots has always been 99 slots. It's only in the global version where it's restricted to 10 slots for absolutely no reason, because all these Truststone template slots are saved locally on your device. So it doesn't even make sense why they have to limit it. Let me see if I can boot it up. So, raid. So Miso-Shield-san is saying now that she's never done a raid in War Divisions. She's only done multi-raid so far with people. So it's gonna be her first raid coming up in July. And Nagai-san explained to her that, it's gonna be an interesting experience for sure. It's quite different from the multi stuff. So I already closed my JP game, but so Fuda-san's closing comments here. The biggest response he's seen all stream is when people commented about the thighs from Melia. So this time, for the first time since they mentioned it previously during the anniversary live streams, they're going to be giving us details of the new content that's being planned for War Divisions. And obviously, during anniversary, there will be more as well. even, outside of the roadmap, right, there are things that, will be interesting to implement in the game, and so they're definitely going to look at that as well. But now we've head into the summer months, and with that, there are things that your players can expect, so please look forward to that, and thank you for your continued support. That's what Fujisan-san said. Asato-san with his closing comments now. For him, Asato-san, one of the things that he really enjoys is finding, the perfect set of trust stone passes for each character. So like, building sets for Rugia and Melia and, all these different characters. And, he likes to look at the effects of the vision cards and equipment while he's doing it. And looking at all the vision cards and the equipment and sort of just theory crafting what can be done with Melia, he's very much looking forward to that, and he's very much looking forward to what the JP players come up with and share on Twitter as well. So he's looking forward to that, and thank everyone for watching. For Nakai-san's closing comments now. So Nakai-san knows that a lot of people have been waiting for Melia ever since she first appeared in the main story. So she's really a character that's really well loved by a lot of players. And he's really proud with the work that they've done for Melia. So please, if you're interested in Melia, please do pull for her as a unit and build her. And of course, it's almost summertime now in Japan. And, before you know it, we are heading towards our 4th year already, the 4th anniversary. So there's a lot of things that the operations team in JP are working on and moving forward with. So things like, main story part 3, all these things they are very busy making. And so basically the operations team are working hard to, create a great future for the game, a lot of great stuff coming in the future for the game. And they're having a lot of fun creating all these contents for World of Visions as well, while being, very serious about making the content as well. And from here on out to the 4th anniversary, there's going to be more announcements and new stuff that they're going to be able to reveal as well. But, that's basically a lot of things to look forward to. So he definitely hopes for, the continued support for our players and for them to look forward to all these upcoming things. And yeah, that's about it. He's going to close off the JP live stream. It's going to be really hot for the summer in JP. And it's going to be hot in World of Visions as well. So please, everybody, please take care of yourself. Drink lots of water. And they'll see us in the next JP official live stream. Lastly, he says, look forward to the raid. And with that, we are closing off with one more playback of the Melia trailer. You guys saw the stockings, right? It's different for her left and right legs. Whoa. Okay, so that's... So that's what they were talking about. It's like you're one of Melia's servants being stepped on during her limit burst. Really, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be pulling for her. Unless she's super weak. So I'm gonna wait for somebody in my guild to find out if she's good enough to counter Alaya, which I think she definitely will. So the thing is, I do, like, even before the start of the stream, right, I was, like, talking with somebody, with, hey bro, I don't know if he's here, but basically we were discussing, basically I was telling him that right now in the game, maybe I can load it up. So I'm gonna pause here. Alright, I'm gonna pause it to the start while I load up my game, and then we're gonna go back and look at some of the points in the broadcast that I wasn't too sure about the detail, and just kind of do a quick recap of the details for that. But before that, I want to just load up my game. So anyways, I was saying, right now in JP, Lightning Alaya is a huge threat. She's, like, pretty much too good a character already, and she kind of limits the game design space of War Divisions because of how powerful the triple hitting skill is. And, you know, I was thinking, like, okay, so, you know, if they don't deal with that, then it's not going to be a very interesting game, even if they come out with, like, you know, new really strong attackers and other kind of units that are really strong, but that will just lose to Alaya, right? So what do they do next? Immediately in this broadcast, they introduce the counter character to Alaya. If you remember the missile meta all the way back from when the ice element Alaya was introduced. So back then, the sort of one of the best teams, and which is still one of the best teams in the game right now, was definitely something like a tank, like Snow, Alaya, and Eliza. And the way that team works is that Snow will run up to the front lines, like, way ahead of the other two snipers, and this way you're able to protect your backline because the snipers won't be caught in the AoE with Snow, you know, very much in the front lines, very far away from the snipers. So I was thinking that is the only kind of situation where Lightning Alaya will not be able to do well against. So I have my JP game open up, so I'm gonna just head into that. So give me a moment. I do need to check that my settings are okay. So I think this is the button to click. Okay. Yep, there we go. Is there a way I can demonstrate in game? But basically, you know what? Even without looking at that, let me go into units. So the problem with Alaya, like I said, is that she hits 3 enemies at the same time, and all of the targets that she hit, right? All of the 3 enemies that she will hit are taking single target damage from this move right here. It's the stack, this one right here. So as you can see here, it's a range 5 move, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as long as she's in the front line, she can hit anybody in the square. So basically, the way to sort of counter this move is you need to have a tank come in, like, right around here, and then your attackers stay all the way back around here so that they don't get caught by this AoE. So I feel that, you know, obviously with Alaya being so strong now, and the thing is she can give, like, the entire team re-raise removal, and that is a huge problem for the game because so many good characters in the game rely on re-raise to remain on the battlefield. So, you know, as long as her attacks can reach the back line, you're just going to, you know, whatever team you feel is just going to get slaughtered by Alaya, except for if you run a team consisting of a tank that can run forward really far, leaving the snipers in the back to do their work. And that is exactly what they're releasing with Melia. So I'm definitely looking forward to putting up a team, something like a move for Dialdo paired with King Bradley, and I'm just going to go into a template and pull something. Just make something from over here. And I'll show the TMR templates in a bit as well. Let me find the slot that I'm not using. But basically, once Melia is out, you know, I would do something like Dialdo, set him to move 4, and then definitely King Bradley, and then couple that with Melia. So obviously I don't have like a Earth Sniper here, so just imagine that Mont, oh, you know what, actually I do have a Sniper, so just imagine this is Melia here, right? So I think this team will work really well because for King Bradley, if you look at calculated Ren, which is it? Oh, is this one over here? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a range 6 move. And then when you combine that with Melia, it's like between these two attackers, they can take on any foes from almost any range, right? Except for if they're like, you know, if the enemy is running like a sniper team as well. So I think the idea is you want to have... So, by the way, this is what... Oh, damn it. I can't really show you guys my defense for today because we might actually use it for tomorrow. But generally speaking, right now, the best teams in JP right now for defense is basically Elia, and then usually someone like Alphonse. And then for the third unit is a flex. You can use Uriel, you can use Edward, you can use Glassola, you can use King Bradley, any number of options. But basically these two are at the center of the strongest team right now in JP. So the idea is, you know, Alphonse will soak up all the hate, and then once Elia is able to get the front line, she will just be able to disable everybody on the enemy team. So with Melia being in the mix, I imagine she will have an easier time taking down Alphonse. And so as a sort of reaction to that, I guess people will change Alphonse to Raofu or even Dialdo to try and, you know, not be so weak to Melia. And then I think that's where the metagame will, you know, start to evolve. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Melia will bring to the game when she comes out tomorrow. I'm sure there will be some crazy people in JP who will build her right away. And earlier I forgot who it was who commented about the Truststone templates, right? So if we go into I'll just show you guys here. It's different from global. If we just go into Truststone templates in JP, you can see here I have like 100 Truststone templates. So obviously you're not going to hear anything about an improvement to the Truststone templates in JP on a JP livestream because we already have 100 Truststone templates from the very beginning. It's only in global that we don't have them. All right, so is there anything you guys want to see from inside the game? If not, I'm gonna go back to the stream, the JP stream, and go and look back at the details that I kind of missed out on earlier to try and give you guys you know, clarification on them. HD Elder says Melia is targeting the foot fetish crowd. Well played, Gummy. I'm not that kind of person, but I do plan on pulling for Melia, as long as she's not weak. Stafu asks, how about strike resistance? Any strike resistance strategy that works for Elia? Yeah, there is one. In fact, right now, the main tactic to beat... it's not really the main tactic. One of the main tactics to beat Melia is with strike resistance. But the problem with that is... So, as you can see, this is my offense team, which I show you because, generally speaking, I don't think we're going to use our offense team on defense. But if we go and look at the... actually, there's no easy way to see, huh? Anyway, I'm just going to summarize it for you. Elia has a lot of strike resistance penetration. So she's the one thing that completely throws the whole plan off. You can build an entire team that resists strike, but Elia is just going to penetrate through all of that strike resistance. But with that said, one pretty effective team that has been sort of like the main counter to strike teams is with Dark. Because for Dark, you have... I'll just show you how much strike resistance I have on this team. Probably one of the easiest ways to demonstrate There we go. You guys see this? Do I need to zoom in? 73% strike resistance on Raofu. And even for Sephiroth, I think it's pretty decent. For Sephiroth, it's not that high. It's only 15% because so most of the strike resistance comes from the Esper and also this vision card here, the Greater Demon Vision card, which gives you 24. And then the rest, I'm not sure where the rest came from. I don't even remember. But as you can see here, you can really stack up Raofu to deal with strike teams. And the thing is, in order to get that much strike resistance, you really only need the Esper and Greater Demon on Raofu. Meaning these two characters here, you don't even have to run Sephiroth and Dark Fina if you don't want to. The only reason, the main reason why people do run this team is because the Greater Demon Vision card do benefit all of the Dark Team characters. I think if I change this to Leela the Bold, I'm not too sure if she actually benefits from it. So let me just double check that real quick. Okay, so Leela the Bold benefits from it. So as you can see here, Dark is obviously a very good counter for Strike. And actually that's actually the main method by which the guild I'm in, which is in number 2 right now, we're called Nobushi. We actually got to rank 1 for 1.5 months based on just this strategy, using Dark teams to counter Strike teams. So obviously it's a strategy that works, but the fact that Lightning Alaya has strike resistance penetration definitely throws a wrench. Definitely, you know, maybe she isn't able to deal with Raofu that well, but she can definitely KO Sephiroth pretty quickly. HT Elder says, do you think Addison Rae is a match for this team? I'm hearing good results about her. So when they announced the kit for Addison Rae, the first thing that came to my mind is I'm gonna put Addison Rae in this slot here to pair her up with Sephiroth and Raofu, because first of all, Raofu is a monster. All right, she is hands down the strongest tank in World of Visions right now in JP, and I think it will stay that way for a really long time. She's just ridiculously good as a tank, and so just imagine, you know, with everything Raofu has going for her, imagine you put Addison Rae in the slot and give her courage plus 50% healing. Let me remind. Give courage and 50% extra healing to Raofu. Just imagine how much of a bigger monster Raofu will become. And then on top of that, you can also potentially give a second courage to Sephiroth. And, you know, that is really all you need out of this team. For the longest time, Dark Team has been held back by Dark Fina, because Dark Fina is really not that great. Her main defense option is Re-Raise, which gets removed by Lightning Alaya anyway, right? Because even though she's in the back line, she's not far enough in the back, so Alaya will just very easily, you know, do one move that will hit all 3 of them, and then she'll get her Re-Raise removed, and then she's just a sitting duck. So for the longest time, we've wanted to replace Dark Fina with somebody else in Dark, but there's just no really good option until recently when the Leela the Bold came out. So right now, the predominant Dark team is running, where's Leela? Is running this basically, Leela the Bold, and then obviously the vision cards have to change as well, because you're now running 2 physical and 1 magic unit, right? But even with this team right now, I can say that Dark is still not nearly as good as what people are hoping. So even after Leela the Bold gets level 140, I think it still makes sense to put Addison Rae in this slot instead, and it could potentially make Dark Team that much stronger. Most of the damage will come from Sephiroth, and Raofu is here to soften targets up, and then Addison herself is also a crazy good attacker. So I do believe that team will be really, really great. But I guess we'll find out in Global Version in a little bit more than 5 or 6 weeks' time. But definitely, I do feel that that's going to be a top-tier team. Hopefully that answers your question. Let me just put this back. Wait, actually, I'm not going to use this slot anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Any other questions anybody have about the game? If not, I'm going to go back to the stream. Let's see here. Hey bro says, I've been here all along, brother. Well, thanks for your support. I wasn't reading chat while I was translating, so I missed out on earlier comments basically. All right, so we go back into the Cockintet asks, why did you leave Visiport? So for those people who don't know, I left Visiport at around the start of June. So it was June 1 or June 2nd. But basically, I wanted to have more time. As you guys can see, on YouTube, I'm still doing all these live translation streams, but I haven't really been uploading videos, right? Because I've been sort of finding it hard to balance my real life stuff with playing the game at a high level and, still trying to make content. So I realized for a while now, if I continue to maintain Invisipore and if I continue to play in my current JP guild, and we're the number 2 guild, by the way, if I continue to do all this stuff, I'll never find the time to make any videos, to make any uploads. So part of the reason is because I wanted to have more time to do other things, and one of those other things is, of course, to make content for YouTube. And at the same time, I felt that there is really no more reason for me to continue playing guild battle at a high level in both JP and in global, because I feel like a lot of times I'm just doing the same things in both versions anyway, just that there's like a 4-month delay. And so I decided, you know what, I think I've done, what I needed to do. And I've been in Visipore for like 1.5 years now, which is a really long time in terms of, War of the Visions time, right? So moving forward, I wanted to basically just, for the JP version, I focus on guild battle stuff. And then actually in JP, I'm not that focused on the arena or the other, like class match and all that stuff. I can show you guys here. We just had quick pick match recently. So I came in 229 out of like, how many thousands of players here, right? And you can see that in my rankings, so this time, I think I did pretty okay. Some of the opponents are really tough, but basically if I show you my progress from in the past, you can see that, so, not rankings, let me change. So basically, I think this season at 229, that's the highest I've placed in JP. Before that, if I just go down, you'll see that, all along I haven't really paid much attention to quick pick match and class match. And, but the thing is, for global version, right, I actually do care a lot about quick pick match and class match, and I'm always in like the top 100, top 50 every single time for a quick pick match and class match. So I was thinking, in order to better utilize my time, I don't really need to play all of the content twice over in JP and global. So the way I'm gonna do it moving forward is, for JP, as per usual, I'll focus more on guild battle stuff. Of course, I'll still play quick pick match and all that stuff, but I'm not gonna strain myself over it. As you can see, I can just show you my formation since I'm gonna change it anyway. But only in JP I leave it up to this. In global version, usually nowadays I just put 6 characters so that I can switch things around. But in global version, moving forward, I'm basically retired in guild battle, but I'm going to be more focused. Spending more time playing in the class match and quick pick match sections in global version, basically. And then later on in November, I'm planning to rejoin Visiport around the November timing, so that I do get exposed to the guild battle environment in global version again, in preparation for the auto PvP grand finals. So that's the reason why I left Visiport. I'm gonna make a video about this, but sometime in the future, when I'm ready to announce some things that I'm planning for the YouTube channel and my Twitch streaming, basically. So that's the reason why I haven't really made a video about this yet. But basically, when I'm ready to, have you guys come into my Discord server and all that, that's when I'll make a video to, explain to everyone why I decided to leave Visiport. And there's one very important thing I forgot to mention, which is that as long as I'm in Visiport, I will never be able to do some content for you guys, show like the most like detailed team compositions in the global version, and I wanted to do that. So that's one of the reasons I left Visiport as well. So moving forward, I don't know when yet, because right now, I'm dealing with some stuff in real life, so I can't promise you when exactly I will be making that kind of content for global version. But in moving forward, maybe around the time when they give us the 200 extra shots for Addison Rae, that's around the timing when I think I will be able to make some really compelling stuff for you guys in terms of global version content. So I hope you guys will look forward to that. Starfu says, I'm having thoughts in putting up a light version. Don't know if Angle can do it since it has innate strike resistance. Maybe Engelbert, Sweetheart Miranda, and maybe Addison Rae. So I haven't really explored that much with Addison Rae because my Addison Rae is not at level 140 yet. And then HD Elder says, I hope we get class match back soon. I want to try out my new light composition. I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. Hopefully they won't make us wait 2 months for it. So, okay, so I'm gonna go back into the stream. And we're gonna take a look at some of the details I missed. So I think starting with, he actually mentioned an extra move that was not on the screen. So I'm gonna just listen for a bit so that I can, make sure that I get everything this time around without talking over what they're saying. So up until this point, everything is as we know so far. By the way, I just forgot, or rather I just remembered something that's quite important. So actually today is the second last day of the month. So it's the second last day on the current guild battle map in JP, which means I have about a day left where I can show you guys like all the all the best team compositions in JP right now for this current map. And I basically have some idea on what I want to, show you guys. But if you have something in particular you want me to kind of showcase, let me know in the comments, and I'll see if I can make that possible. Let's just say, like, I'll talk to some guys and see in my guild and see if we can kind of do those experiments. If it's something you want to know about in the JP version right now. So this is to 2 targets, 2 hits each, with chance to activate sleep.
広くても正方形みたいな方なんですけど、あまり数が少ないひし形の広範囲の、見方に対して、スリダメージプロテス効果ですね、を、巻き散らしながら、この後は自身の、防御貫通率をアップしつつ、自身に攻撃命中リレーを解除する効果を付与します。これは、一応このひし形でリレー解除を散らすではなくて、一応自身
プロテスだけ味方に付与して、
プロテスだけ味方にっていうアビリティで、今ちょっと一旦補足はあって、派閥に関してで、これは EX タイプですね。で、EX の派閥に関しては、十字の範囲内のダメージに対して対象が多いほど威力が強い。
敵が3対4対いたら火力が高くなる。
火力。なんで、メルニアに関しては、LB 単体で、主力とおそらく主力になるというところも、単体なので、単体アビリティで、味方に対して、スリダメージプロテス効果ですね。を、巻き散らしながら、
Okay, so it looks like I got the detail for this move wrong. This is called Tabatsu. So when I saw it, like immediately I thought this was similar to the light stern move conversions, but actually it's the opposite of it. The more characters, the more targets there are in the AoE, the higher amount of damage you will be able to deal out with this move. So it's kind of the opposite of light stern's move. But it says here that, like, by default, so basically up to 2 targets, it'll do the regular amount, and then when there is 3 targets or 4 targets in the AoE, that's when you will do extra damage. So that makes a really bad move, kind of, right? Because most of the time, you're not going to be able to hit 3 units all at the same time, most of the time. And the other thing to note is that this is the EX ability, so this is the level 120 move. HDL has a question. Has anyone in JP went full meme and fully max ID? I think there is somebody who did that, but I haven't really seen that much about it. Right? Sorry, I missed something important. So the limit burst is single target. She's basically a character with a lot of single target attacks, but this move, Tabata, is like the sole exception. Or rather, not the sole exception, but it's a exception. But basically, she's although she's stronger in single target attacks, she does have single target and AoE attacks. Okay, so the dispel all effects is for this move here. And it's the dream ability. It's the dream ability upgrade for Melia here. So basically this cross-shaped AoE move, ideally you want to land 3 or 4 targets in it to do extra damage, and on top of that it will dispel, all of the enemy attacks. Enemy buffs haze and other stuff, I think. I guess we have to. I guess you have to check.
3体体制アップとかそういったところにも結構ありそうなデスペル効果ですよね、今のところね。
で、3階に関しても EX で評価を行う予定がありまして、そこが評価されますと、プロテス効果って、まあ、大体3ターン、これが4ターン。
So this thing that I caught, that I explained earlier,
自身の AP 回自動回復、まあ、小が、追加される形で、まあ、結構射撃ユニットって、総じてよく言われるのは AP
did he say how many turns?
まあ、小がプロテス効果って、まあ
So when you upgrade this move to EX jobs, protect becomes from 3 turns to 4 turns.
に、自身の
And as long as there is protect,
小が、
you get HP recovery small. So that means that's a 4 turn HP recovery small effect, which is better than the TMR, right? Better than Ode's the what do you call it? The loincloth TMR
復活しやすいと。
is better than Noctis TMR as well.
この考えの強化と、サポアビと、あとちょっと後ほど紹介させていただくブルの部分でも AP に対することを行うつもりなので、まあもちろんなんか自ザトラ打った後と同等かみたいなことはちょっと違うんですけど、まあ極力 AP が復活しづらい環境に向かうかなっていうところで考えております。はい。で、そうですね。あとは、多分気になるいつも質問が来る部分で言うと、まあ、必中あるのかないのかっていうところで言うと、今回は必中はないです。で、
So as explained earlier, no guaranteed hits, no guaranteed hit attacks,
一応射撃の
no re-raise, and no courage as well.
類的には中衛っていう形にはしてるんですけど、多分まあ戦闘で動くときは大体後ろの方から動くユニットにはなるかなと思ってるんですけど、まあ、そういう一応はっきりしたらなので、耐久力っていうのをすごく持たせる形にはなって、基本的にはこういう、まあ、解除だったり状態異常だったりでこう妨害含めてできるアタッカーみたいな形で考えています。で、そうですね。それを以外の部分で言うと、まあ、さっき状態異常の話したんですけど、まあ、毒と睡眠は今紹介させていただいて、で、まあ、ちょっと次のやつ今紹介するのは手動用にはなるんですけど、状態異常のみのスキルでバーサクのやつに3体に対してバーサクをつけるっていうのなんですけど、まあ、射撃ビルのサポアビのフラッシュで射程伸びちゃって、まあ、長射程のバーサクっていうのを持ってたり。
So she has a long range berserk move, I think, is what he said.
状態異常のみのスキルでバーサクのやつになって、バーサクの3体に対してバーサクをつける
Single target berserk.
射撃ビルのサポアビのフラッシュで射程伸びちゃって、
Oh,
長射程のバーサクっていうのを
is a single target berserk skill that you can further buff the range with, her passive, the support abilities.
マイナス
And then the passives, there's move -1,
コメントもいただいてましたね。
and I presume the standard, gunner passives.
があります。で、これ以外も一応サポアビとかでまあ、やっぱアタッカーなんで貫通ってあるのかみたいなところはあるんですけど、一応射撃耐性貫通も防御耐性貫通も持ってお
She has defense penetration and missile
射撃
attack resistance penetration stuff.
にはならない
え？
一応射撃耐性貫通も防御耐性貫通も持っておくので、ある程度こうダメージソースとか、射撃耐性もりもりだったら当たらないよみたいな形にはならないかなと思っております。はい。
状態異常もたくさんあって、攻撃もね、簡 力があってと結構いろんな使い方ができそうな雰囲気ですね、メルミア。
はい。で、そうです。あと、あれか、サラトさんに書いてあったんですか、直射曲射ってどうなんですか。
気になる、コメントでもありましたね。はい。
で、どっち
Well,
も
this segment was actually longer than I thought.
してるものでいうと、2層左下に関しては直射で、多発右上の範囲攻撃、あっちは、
So I think this part, there was nothing I missed out. And then the next important thing was the weapon parts.
定の、いわゆる条件に沿う限定って形で、クリティカル時に重力ダウンさせるという効果と、あとここに、
そうで、デュアルムーンなんですけれども、こちらリビューオリジナルビジネス登場いたしますのでよろしくお願いします。それではこちらどんな感じなんですか。
はい、性能の部分ですね。一つのパッシブ能力で、射撃攻撃をつつ、ズボ限定の、いわゆる条件に沿う限定という形で、クリティカル時に重力ダウンさせるという効果と、あとここに、さっき言った AP プラスっていうのをつける。クリティカル時に重力ダウンさせるという効果と、あとここに、さっき言った AP プラスっていうのをつける。
So this gun, the dual moons, is basically it's a weapon for all dual gunners, essentially, and the generic effect. So if you equip it on a non-dual gunner, as in someone whose main job is not a dual gunner type, right? They'll still get the missile attack up effect. But for all the jobs that, or rather all of the characters that do have a dual gunner main job, they'll get two additional effects. The first one is on critical hit, healing ability down, and then the second one is initial AP up.
でさらに、慈悲なき
And then this one, I think I didn't miss anything. The new campaign.
モチーフ書かれている。
Vision card.
ヘビ側か
They didn't give us any details about the vision card, but there is one thing we needed to find out, which is whether or not this thing here comes with an Asper.
はい、という形ですので、ぜひ皆さんよろしくお願いします。いただきます。今回のレイドはエウロペ。はい、でございます。
そうですね、サーチャーとともに現れて倒さなきゃいけない。ちっちゃい方から倒さなきゃいけない。いるかもしれない。
詳細までいただいてます。今回サーチャーはいらっしゃらない形でございます。はい、エウロペ2にありますので皆様よろしくお願いします。今回ビジョンカード、ハーゲンプリンス登場でございます。レイド限定報酬となっております。さらにですね、モノスですね。はい、車種のモノス、はい、していただけますので、ぜひレイド久しぶりだから個人的にも楽しみなんですね。リバイバルははいあったんですけど、という形ですので、ぜひ皆さん久しぶりのレイド楽しんでいただけたらなと思います。よろしくお願いします。そして、サーギンプリンスございますので、こちら、はい、サーギンプリンスの強化クエスト、はい、走らせていただきます。
Oh, it says here it comes with an Asper. I guess we needed to have read the fine print. Alright, so indeed there will be an Asper, and as mentioned earlier, it's gonna be a water element Asper as usual. Cost 45 MR card. But in any case, the vision card itself, I think it's an elemental card as well. They didn't actually talk about the details of the vision card.
ちょっとね、次ちょっとスライドの作りようがなかったので、一旦こういう形で作ったんですけど、はい、こちら、はい、プラス6の部分。
Okay, so next up is the details here. Oh.
イメージはもう本当に DX とか MX ちょっと順番はまあ基本はこっちだけど前後します。
そうですね。あとはちょっとコラボのものとかは、ちょっと時期とかは調整をさせていただく形に多分なる
とは思います。はい。なので。
Oh, okay. So the August UI upgrade is gonna be huge. So basically, they're gonna make it so that there are going to be these little icons to let you know what kind of whether or not it is a weapon group vision card, and the icon will be So basically, it's like a way to quickly tell at a glance for the weapon limited stuff through icons on the screen. So I guess we have to wait and see, whether it's good enough. Because right now, I think there's like a lot of like icons in the game on the menus already. So I'm not sure how useful that is. And a lot of people, most players have like remembered by heart, like a lot of stuff anyway, right? So not too sure how helpful this will be, but it's gonna be something they're gonna try to make it easier to see what kind of weapon group something is for.
じゃあこれどうやって解放されるのかっていう解放される、単純に見た目的にはパネルを VT ボードのパネルを追加させていただくんですけど、一応専用のアイテムを必要にしようかなと。でそれに関してはもうそれが入手できるケースっていうのを用意して、そこをクリアしてもらえると、
Oh my goodness. Okay, the September one is the September UI upgrade is pretty amazing too. So basically, I didn't really understand like what this is for, but so you know how right now in the game, maybe I can just show you guys here. Like if I just load up my in-game screen over here. Like if I go to templates, for example, right? Let me look. Okay, so you know what? Maybe even over here is good enough. So when I try to change a unit, you can see my units are all like my selected or equipped units are all scattered, right? So basically the September UI change will basically put all of your currently equipped members, all of your currently equipped units, vision cards and weapons all the way at the front of the selection, so you know what exactly you have equipped on the formation already. So that's what the September is it September? Yeah, that's what the September UI improvement is for. Coming in late September in JP, that means probably January next year for global version, unless they speed it up.
どういう形でどういう
And then the rest of these are all pretty straightforward. So I'll just do a quick recap over here. So the first one here, this is UI changes to make it so that the first thing here is Barracks one button to fully replenish it. The next one is one button to unlock fully all your trust stone pedestals on the TMR. And then on the character status screen, you will now be able to see the single target and area resistance values. And then sorting features, you will be able to sort by defense, spirit, and AP, which is something I think we have in global version already. Other than that, starting in late July, there will be the aforementioned limit burst enhancement for the first 4 units. And then in August, this thing here is basically some kind of icon to make it easier to tell, what weapon group each unit of vision card effect belongs to. And then in September is the big one. September is when we get the UI improvement to basically have all of your equipped stuff appear at the front of the menu when you are, making a change. And then next up here, they're going to make it, for Espers, they're going to make it so that the ability note on the Esper screen, or rather the Esper ability board, they'll make it easy for you to tell what is the total value of the things you've selected. And then, other than that, they're going to give you more party formation slots for a bunch of other modes, for duels, which means arena and quick pick match, class match, all that stuff. Multiplayer as well as what is this, tower mode. And then the new contents, as Fujita-san explained earlier, in late August we can expect the next limited arena, and once again, or rather, the next limited arena is going to be different. They haven't decided 100% how it's going to work, but the one thing that they're going to tackle is, the limitation of having to use visual refreshes. So they're going to do something about that. And then in late September, there's going to be a multi-quest, some kind of defend the castle multi-quest that will be similar to the fight the Realm Scourge multi-quest that we had in JP before. And finally, in October, late October, there's going to be a new kind of quest where the map effects will change depending on the number of terms that have been elapsed in the quest. I think they showed us a screenshot. Oh, there we go. So this is basically the indicator on the right hand side will show you when the next map effect will take place. And then for a limited arena, I don't see anything special with the screen, so I don't think it's something that can be illustrated here. And I believe there is one final thing I needed to check, which is the skill that Melia gets from the Hunter sub-job, which I think is at the beginning.
背景いつもねキャラクターをこうスライド化するときその所属のね国とか対立するんですけど今回いっぱいあるそうですねはいでもうクリスタル召喚も含めて、はいまさに暗躍っていうところでフェネス所属として、いつもとね登場して、そこからいろんなね勢力を渡り歩きながら、まさに暗躍していたでその中でも本当ストーリーを
So as it turns out, there are only two characters with the Hunter job, apparently. That can't be right. It should be more, right? Wait a minute.
慈悲なき孤高の車種メルニア登場ということで、UR ポスト100必読制となっております。でメインジョブが魔界そうなんですよ。はい。時代って書いて魔界って読むんですよ。この魔界っていう単語とかもそうなんですけど、メルニアって本当にキャラクターとしてはものすごく際立つ。
I think I didn't even once mention what her main job is, right? And the reason for that is because it is a compound word, meaning it's a not commonly used word with a special reading. It's called magai, which is based on the kanji. It's basically like a mysterious or suspicious figure. And I'm not sure what context. Maybe there's like some kind of ancient word. So I'll have to look this up later on what you would, translate that to. But straight away, I'm not sure if this is like the best translation, but you could think of it like an enigma is like, I guess one way to translate that. But I'll look it up and see if there's a better way to describe it. And according to, I'm not sure if I'm like seeing a bugged screen or something, but apparently there are only 2 units with the Hunter job. Is that right? That's like... Okay, so in global there's 3, but in JP there's only 2. Which means that... Which means that it's fairly easy for me to just look up and check the skill that's being mentioned.
ベインジョブとか、あとはこう後で出てくる技名だったりとか、いろんなところで結構無口じゃないですけど、口数が少ない感じのメルニアのイメージを結構ふんだんに使う、そこら辺のこう文字の読み方とか、その辺とかもちょっと注目していおります。
Oh, there's only 2 characters with Han. Wow. Okay.
次のスライドお願いします。はい、メルニアですね。サブジョブはカリュールとトリックランサー、リミットバースト、悪毒、物理ダメージを軽減するバリアを破壊後、対象にダメージ大確率で3ターン HP が徐々に減少する毒効果追加効果、毒効果中なら1キラ大幅ダウンを付与となっております。こちら、木田さん、サブジョブとか LB とかね、見てもよろしいでしょうか。
はい。サブジョブのカレウドに関しては、影縫いを持ってで、トリックランサーに関してはバインドを持ってという形で、バストに関しては、バリア破壊をしつつ、単体攻撃ですね。で、ちょっと特殊というか、今までいないと、毒効果中なら1キラ大幅ダウン、攻撃とか、なんちゃら斬撃攻撃ダウン、そういうのではなくて1キラ大幅ダウンなんで、全体的にダウン
ダメージを抑えることができる。
ダメージを大きく抑えることができる。そうです。マイナスになる割合で、はい、なので、結構効果としては大きいのかな。単純にこう単純に攻撃下げるだけ結構効果が高いので、結構限定的、毒効果中ならっていう限定的なところではあるんですけど、その分ちょっとこう使命って考えたりして、ここに関してはちょっとぜひ使ってみて体感してみようかなと思います。
どれぐらい下がるかね、楽しみですね。そうですね。コメントでも毒いいなとか、毒ってなかなかね、
ものはあるんですけど、意外とこう効果としてすごい強いわけではない、行動負荷にするものとかもないので、意外と対策をしてないかかりやすい、かかっても結構何ターンかかっちゃうので、なのでかかりやすいところもあって、効果としてやってばかなっていう、ぐらい下がるとね、マイナスになる。で、トリックランサーに関してます。
最初にダメージでしょうか。
はい。サブジョブのカレウドに関しては、影縫いを持ってで、トリックランサーに関してはバインドをという形で、リミットバストに関しては、バリア破壊をしつつ、単体攻撃ですね。で、ちょっと特殊というか、今までいないと、毒効果中なら1キラ大幅ダウン、攻撃とか、なんちゃら斬撃攻撃ダウン、そういうのではなくて1キラ大幅ダウンなんで、全体的にダウン、
ダメージを抑えることができる。
ダメージを大きく抑えることができる。そうです。
Okay, so it seems like the hunter ability is armor piercing arrow, which is the one that gives defense penetration 40 for self for that move only, 165% damage, and then lowers the target's defense by 25 for 3 turns. So overall, definitely a really good move, and I wonder which sub-job people will end up equipping her, Melia, with. I think there was a question in my YouTube chat. Somebody asked what element Melia is, and as you can see here on the screen, she is Earth element, cost 100. Kokintat says, I think her kit looks decent for now, but something tells me she might be Rugia 2.0. I think you have to look at the amount of damage she can output. The problem with Rugia is that his kit didn't really have a lot of damage. like he had a lot of like weird support stuff like CT up and healing for some reason, and then of course you have in the first iteration of Rugia, his like follow-up attack was only for that one attack that he's using, so it didn't even give him follow-up attack for like 3 turns or anything like that, and it was only fixed when they gave him his level 140, right? For Melia, the thing with Melia is that if she's anything like Eliza or Alaya, the ice element Alaya, then she's going to have a lot of damage. And as long as she has a lot of damage, combine that with as long as she has good damage, good range, and on top of that, what we do know today is that she definitely has some really tricky status ailments to kind of like, you know, steer clear of. And on top of that, she does have the ability to give your whole party protect, and of course every single attack for the next 3 turns, or rather for the next is it 3 turns or 4 turns? I think for the next 4 turns, right? Every single attack that she does will remove re-raise. That is one of the most powerful effects in the game right now. Because assuming that you run Melia, I don't think you're going to run Lightning Alaya in the same party. And so what happens is that re-raise removal ability from Melia is going to be really huge in terms of dealing with key targets like Rafu, with like Stern, and a bunch of other re-raise units. So anyway, she's coming out tomorrow in exactly 26, a little less than 26 hours from now. So I guess we'll find out more about her full kit tomorrow. I guess that means I have to do a stream tomorrow night, right? Yeah, I'll figure it out, and then I'll let you guys know. Basically, I don't think it's a problem for me to start the stream. I'll probably start it a little bit earlier from, you know, before she's released, like maybe half an hour earlier, so that we can look at things, and then we'll take a look at her kit, and I guess we'll find out more tomorrow. So anyway, that's all of the stuff I need to confirm this time. Pretty straightforward. Is there, I don't think there's any, like, you know, confusion about what kind of character she is. Clearly a really good earth attacker, clearly a good missile attacker with a lot of tricky stuff. Of course, her weaknesses are she doesn't have courage, she doesn't have re-raise, she doesn't have any guaranteed hits. So ultimately, we do need somebody to... I'm pretty sure somebody in my guild, in the guild that I'm in, will go and pull her and instantly get her to level 140 within 1 or 2 hours. So I'll ask Nicey for that person to, you know, put her up in mock battle, and we'll find out more about what she can really do in an optimized party. And yeah, we'll find out more, I guess. So that's it from me for now. And I think, let's see here, I have my game loaded up, but am I showing the correct screen? Okay, so yeah, basically that is it for me for this stream. Like I said, tomorrow, roughly let's just say 26 hours. You know what, if you're a subscriber to my YouTube channel, once I've scheduled the live stream, you will see it in the live stream section of my channel. So look at that to determine like what time the stream will start in your local time, and I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow for those of you who are coming back to find out more about Melia alongside me. Alright, so that's it for now. Take care, and yeah, see you guys around.